Welcome to the Oulu Entrepreneurship Society podcast. I'm your host Muhammad Ahmad, and today we have an amazing guest, Curtis. Curtis his journey is quite unique. He's the founder of MailSped, and he transformed himself from a vehicle mechanic in British Army to a founder of tech company. Welcome to the show, Curtis.
Hello, thank you. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You spent 9 years as a mechanic in British Army, and what made you switch your career from being a vehicle mechanic in British Army to a founder of tech startup?
Yeah, so I joined the British Army when I was 20 years old, had my 21st birthday in training, and then I spent the majority of my adult life in the British Army up to now. So most of that was vehicle mechanic, so fixing, maintaining and repairing vehicles, and then learning all about the Army side of life, so teamwork, communication, management. And to the last few years of being in the Army, I went to more of a desk job, so I was working in IT, working behind a computer most of the day. And then I was coming up to my 30th birthday, and I was thinking, should I stay in the Army for the rest of my career, or should I look at doing something a little bit different? And at the time, I was learning about making websites, learning a bit more about tech, and finding that this was really good for me. I really enjoyed it. So I decided at that point I was going to follow my passion, which was software engineering, learn how to do that a little bit more, and then transition a bit more into the tech side of life. So I left the British Army, ended up moving over to Finland with my partner, and then here we are. I'm currently starting my startup MailSped.
Great. Good to know more about you. So after moving to Finland, I think it must be really challenging to find a job in the tech sector. How did you face all these challenges, and what was your strategy to overcome all of these challenges?
Yeah, so it was really hard. It still is really hard. I'm still looking to overcome this challenge. So when I first arrived in Finland, I was applying for many, many jobs. This was the first time when I've been rejected from a job, and there was lots of jobs that I've been rejected from, like over 100 probably. So I was applying for every single job I could, and everyone was just saying no. And I was thinking, why? What's wrong? And it turns out in Finland you need quite a high education level, and you need to have quite a lot of experience just to get your foot in the door. And I didn't have any of these, and then I finally realised that I can't just carry on applying for jobs. I need to do something different. So that's when I started applying for university. So I got the position in the pathway studies. So I did my year 1 of ICT education through pathway studies. And then I did my year 2 of education, which I just finished now in OAMC ICT. So I'm still working to overcome this problem. And the final answer for myself is that I'm going to make my own job. So this is where I am now. I'm making my own job. Potentially in the future, that will give me more experience to apply if I need to. But right now, I'm going to make my own job, make job for other people as well. So that's my solution.
Great. Good to know. So you joined OAMC, Oulu University of Applied Sciences, and discovered about the startup scene. I have also seen you many times in Business Corner. So how all of this environment help you to change your career path?
Yeah, so once I did get into the education ecosystem, I started learning about entrepreneurship. I went to Startup Weekend, where I was first introduced, like the main part of my learning came from that, and then I did the business incubator, and I started learning how to use my software development skills and entrepreneurship skills together. So these work very well hand in hand, so I could make something while learning it. So I'd learn in the daytime in a class, and at night time I'd put it straight into practice. And going to Business Corner, Startup Oulu, going to Oulu Yes events, networking, find out all about the different ecosystem. It's been massively beneficial for myself, just to keep me motivated firstly, to get more skills, to get more network. And the more that I do go to these events, the more opportunities that do arise. So that's been hugely beneficial up to now.
Indeed, networking plays a huge role in startup.
Definitely.
So at first you was working as a veterinary software project, but then you switched to MailSped. So, what made you change your focus?
Yeah, so last year I did the business incubator. I started Vetral, which was a veterinary software. So my partner is a veterinarian. She had some problems with the software they was using. I was thinking I can make something, so I started. And then, so at the time I didn't really have a great amount of software development skills. So I thought I'd learn on the job, start implementing everything that I was learning in school, like I just said. But it turned out a little bit later down the line that the things that I'd done at the start were not very scalable, and it came to a point where it was very hard to carry on without starting it all over again. So I thought, I'll take the ideas that I've learned, all the skills that I've learned, all the experience, and I'll start again. And that's when it came to MailSped. So the new idea, this happened over Christmas. You could call it a pivot, but it's a big pivot from one idea to a different idea. So that was the main reason. Another reason is it turned out that the veterinary software company was more of a traditional company and not a startup. So I didn't know the difference last year. So this has been another benefit of going to all of the events, all of the learning, all of the books. I didn't know what was a startup and what was a traditional company. And it turned out veterinary software platform is most likely a traditional company. So that was one of the big deciders as well, that I want to make a startup. And to make a startup, it needs to be able to be scalable. And that's why we're looking at MailSped at the moment.
Amazing. So MailSped is an AI tool which helps in managing emails better. So what did you decide to build this product?
Yeah, so this is a problem that I've seen throughout my life, especially while I was in the military in the office-based role. On a Monday morning, I'd come in and I'd see 50 unread emails, and I wouldn't know which one is important, which one's not important, and they would be all in order of time received. So I'd just see this was received, an hour ago, 2 hours ago. I'd have to look through them all one by one. It'd take me, for example, 4 hours to get all of them done. And at the time, there was no alternative to do this, so I had to look through them one by one. And then as I progressed, this carried on happening throughout my life. As I progressed and AI technology progressed, we're finally at the point now where you can use AI to analyse the emails, summarise them, and order them in urgency score. So that's what we're doing now. We're using AI to order them in urgency score. So the most importance at the top, least importance at the bottom, instead of the traditional, you read them as you receive them. So yeah, it was mainly the technological advancement and then my skill set. So everything that's came together, it just led to MailSped being the obvious choice. And then through some iteration, through some pivoting as well, that's where we came to MailSped as it is now.
Great. So I think teamwork is also important for any startup. So I have seen a couple of your team members. So how did you find the right team members for your startup?
Yeah, so teamwork is very important. The first startup that I was working on solo. I found that lots of things are easier to do as a team, and it is a lot more scalable if you've got more than one team member and people who have very specific skills as well. So how to find them? I found that most likely the people that you start your team with probably not going to finish with, because you need to find how you're working with those people. For example, a bit of a trial period, see if you're working well together, and then maybe in the future you're working with them, maybe you're not. But to find them, you need to start reaching out in your communities. So that's what networking is for. That's a huge help. So in-person networking in the university. So I found a lot of the team members through Business Corner, using their board, team search, and then the different events, and then on LinkedIn as well. So there's two sides to it. And then after I found the team members, we worked together for a bit, see if it's working out, see if it's not working out. But that seems to be working up to now.
Great. Could you please also point out some challenges you have faced during team building, and how did you manage those challenges?
Yeah, so some challenges. I think the initial challenges is when you're advertising and you're not getting any results, and then you're thinking, is this worth doing? Does anyone care about it? And it turns out, yeah, it is worth doing. It's just that some people might be scared of applying. Some people might be busy, might not even see it. and then all of a sudden you might get 50 applications or multiple applications, and then you've got to narrow it down. This is a big challenge as well. So how do you choose from the people that want to join your team and decide without any prior knowledge of who's going to be best? So you can narrow it down a little bit by doing the interviews, seeing who is a good fit for the team, but also taking into account like you need different skill sets in your team as well.
Okay, so how do you manage the burnout? I assume that managing your studies and startup, it must be really tough. So managing time is a really important, and I want to learn from you. How do you manage your time and save yourself from burnout?
Yeah, so my time is quite important to me because I'm doing so many things at the moment. So I'm doing school education, and that's just finished, so I've got a lot more time now, which is nice. And then I've got all of the startup activities, and then I've got the actual startup in terms of the business side. And the most important thing for me at the moment is my diary. So I've found a way that works, which is a physical diary, big A4 book, and I write first the most important thing, which is my classes. So I fill that out a month in advance. And then the second most important thing, which is the startup activities, things that can't be moved. For example, the pitch days, the Oulu events, the startup Oulu events, I put them in. And then after that, I try and fill everything around it. So it's order of importance. And then on a daily schedule, I'd do a to-do list, most important to least important again, the things that I need to be done straight away. And I think in terms of burnout, it is very important to have working hours, try to stick to them. For example, if you say you're not going to work on a weekend, don't work on a weekend. Make sure you get enough exercise, because if you just sat in a room staring at a screen all the time, you're going to get frustrated and you're going to probably end up burning out if you're not exercising, freeing your mind a little bit from the work.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I feel like life is somehow predictable. So sometimes you get up some tasks which are kind of bounces to you. So how do you manage those if you have decided not to work on weekends, or at any point in a day that you decided I'm gonna relax, or maybe spending time with the family, or going for a walk, or any other hobby of your choice? So how do you manage this?
Yeah, you're right. Things do change very fast, especially in a startup, but you need to take into account, you need to have like your initial rules, and you need to take into account how serious the problem actually is, and try and see it from an external point of view and a long-term point of view as well. Like over a month, is it really that important, or can it wait for Monday? Is it as important as you think it is? If it is, for example, a server's gone down and it needs initial, like immediate action, you need to do it. And there's no argument about that. And I think it's valid that you need to do it straight away. But if it's like replying to a message on LinkedIn, that's not important in a bigger scheme of things. So I think that having your base rules and then also being able to be a little bit flexible, that's something that comes with time as well, though, and experience. So doing it, but keeping in mind that, yeah, I need to learn what's important, what's not important.
Great. Okay. How do you use the feedback from users to improve your MailSped?
Yeah, so feedback is super important to us. So we're iteratively building, so we're doing cycles, learning cycles.
I do understand. I was also the feedback giver for your MailSped, so I can understand. So I want to learn how feedbacks like me and any other users helped you to improve the MailSped.
Yeah. So, for example, if you gave me some feedback now, it would go onto an Excel sheet. And once we've got around about 5 people on the Excel sheet, we'll look at all of the different points that we've covered, see if there are any overlapping comments that they said. For example, one that we had at the start was the login feature wasn't great. So we know that multiple people are saying that, so we know that we need to improve it. And the same with many things. So we'll look at the thing that comes up most often, and then we'll fix it, start doing feedback again, see the things that people are saying the most, then we'll fix that or add another feature if you need to. And then it's really important to get the feedback from outside of your group, because after a few months or so, all of your ideas are probably exhausted. Your thinking power is it's still there, but it's just the same thoughts that are going over and over in a bit of an echo chamber. And getting outside opinions is super important because they're the people that are going to be using it. So that's the reason why we are focusing mainly on feedback from external users and a wide amount of people as well, so from different walks of life, different education levels, different needs. So it gives you more of a holistic view of what you need to have for your product.
Okay, great. Good to know about this. Yeah. Email security is pretty much important. So how are you making sure MailSped uses the data and by keeping the privacy of its users?
Yes, so security is a massive thing for us and for our users. We've found this through the feedback sessions as well. Security is top 3 things that we're looking at. Top 2, probably top 1 to be honest. So we started off by using industry standard best practices, so using the most advanced technology and building with the most modern frameworks which are secure by nature. And then recently we've done the CASA Tier 2 security assessment, and that is to enable us to connect to Google API and allows us to use people's email straight from Google API. And the CASA Tier 2 security assessment is quite in-depth. It means that we are following all of the requirements security-wise, and then with our database, everything is encrypted. So this is the main thing that we've done up to now to prove that we are being secure, and we put everything into place.
Good. Okay. So you also got 5,000 euros as funding, and your MVP is also ready. So I'm a bit curious, what are your next goals?
Yeah. So we used some of the first money, like I just said, towards the security assessment. We're using a lot more of that on the customer development. And then our next big goals over the next few months, we're looking at founding the company. And then after that, we are ready to move from the learning phase, which we're currently in. So we're learning everything we can about the customer, everything we can about the product, what we need. And then we're going into the execution phase. So this is a big step, big milestone. We're going to start selling. We're aiming towards 100 customers first, then 1,000 customers, and then even beyond. So once we do reach these numbers, these are some big milestones that we're
Great. I wish you good luck for that.
Oh, thank you.
Finally, what advice would you like to give to our audience who want to start the business?
Okay, yeah, so some advice I would give is first you need to make sure that your own life is good. So you've got everything in order, making sure that you're healthy, you've got everything education-wise, if you're studying, everything is good. And then next, if you're ready to start your business, start looking at that, start joining the ecosystem, going out to the different events. Maybe you're not ready to start yet, you could join someone else's startup, learn from them, and then when you've got enough information, start looking at starting your own business. And then reading, so I'm a big advocate of reading, so most of the problems and most of the lessons that you're going to learn are already in books, so start reading. And then once you're ready, don't worry about the fear of failure. So fear of failure is in more or less everything. But try something, you might fail. Probably will fail the first few times, but yeah, you learn the skills, keep on going, and then the next time maybe you won't fail. It's not a big deal if something goes wrong, as long as you learn from it. So just keep going.
Yeah, I can understand. I have seen so many posts on LinkedIn. You were posting like you have you have read these books, and those are really inspiring for you. So I got the motivation. I was also started learning from those posts. I think it's a great habit of learning and joining events, and then how it helps you start your business. So Curtis, it was a great experience talking to you, and your journey is truly inspiring, not only for me, I'm sure for our audience as well, transforming yourself from army to building a tech company here in Finland. So I think it's a great story to learn so many points you have pointed out. Thanks for sharing your story. To our listeners, if you are interested in startup, check out the Oulu Entrepreneurship Society for resources and events. See you next time with another podcast with another inspiring guest.